Okay.
Yeah, so they're like Andrew Tate, he's an influencer, right? So he gets on there, he's like, you could call him a womanizer. You know, he was fighting allegations or something like that not so long ago, or trafficking. He was like
Trafficking, yeah.
trafficking. He got flying chicks out, and not for him, but for his entourage and for other people, or whatever. And so, but like people aspire to be like him, like talking crazy. Oh man, I rock with Andrew Tate. That's my guy, man. Oh man, everything, because everything he says is real. Well, there's some truth to it. Don't get me wrong. There's some truth to it, but in the reality of situations, it's like you attract a certain type of people,
Yeah.
and you read those people, you know what they're about, so you can talk about them and say things about them. So, I say the same thing about AJ. He'd be like, "Oh man, these women ain't worth nothing. Oh, these women ain't. I was dealing with a married woman the other night, and she got kids at home, and she come over to my crib." I said, "Well, bro," he's like, "Man," I said, "Well, you never tell us about the women that reject you. You always tell us about the women that you score with, and they seem to be the same." So with that being said, I think you have a type, sir. I don't think it's all women. I think you have a type. So that's that. So to piggyback off of that, you know, these influencers, in my opinion, are able to attract people that they know will buy into their story. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And
They
so
got a targeted audience.
yeah, and it's algorithmic. It's algorithmic. So people, people will. Oh man, I follow Andrew Tate. I'm getting on there, and I'm gonna watch this dude. He's gonna go to the gym, work out for 2 hours, get him a protein shake, go lay up with 2 chicks, leave, go do some business deals, leave from there. He's gonna go hop in his McLaren and drive 20 miles over here. And it's like you're seeing all this, and you're like, oh, that's the life that I want. I want all that. But no one shows the grind to that point. No one shows the background. No one shows the lies that are told, the things that are stolen, like all types of nonsense that happens all around. And so, it's fake confidence.
Yeah, with Andrew Tate specifically, right? I mean, essentially, like you said, he's a social media influencer. He's also a quasi self-help guru, right? Both of those things are not inherently bad. And like you said, his message, there's some truth to it. However, I think the issue is he and people like him, they become exploitative, not just to women, but they become exploitative to the audience. That these people, the people that you're targeting, some of them, right, are young, they're vulnerable, right? They're trying to fit in a world where they feel like they can't fit in, and you're pushing something and you're selling something, like you're really selling something that's not entirely true, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not a huge fan of your boy Tate, right?
Right.
However, I will say that I highly doubt that he's not putting on a character. You know what I mean? I don't think that he's walking around this alpha male person all the time.
Of course not. Of course
And
not.
he can have his McLaren, and he can be a womanizer. There are plenty of people like that, and if that's what you want to be, that's fine. That's not always a bad thing, right? But when you're influencing people to not treat others with kindness and compassion, then you got, you know what I mean? Then you're steering society in the wrong direction. I'm not an advocate for that. But
100% not. And you shouldn't be. It's just that the people that are easily swayed, like again, who's his target audience?
mhm.
In their mind, what do I see? I see this dude. He's degrading women. He's talking crazy. He's doing quote unquote toxic behavior, and he's succeeding and he's
Yeah.
excelling. What do you hear
Right.
about the good guy? The good guy always finishes last, right? And it always ends up first place or whatever, getting what he wants. And so Tate has taken that persona. He's taken that facade, and he's making money off of it. He's making money off of them. He's making money off of just the fake image.
Mhm.
And it's in some cases, in my opinion, people that are able to succeed in that realm, they stay in that because they have essentially, oh, this is how I was able to get to this point by being this way. And the reality of it is, you're a bad person. You're not a good person. You are not. Like, don't think that you're super successful just because of that. It's just
Yeah.
you're just able to move around that way
Yeah.
per se. But
And
they're very empty. They're very, Like they are lonely individuals.
Yeah, and the thing is with people like that, and they talk about it a little bit on the documentary. It's not wrong to be an entertainer, right?
Right.
Essentially, there's no difference between this guy and Oprah Winfrey. Like he's taken on this character, right? People are trying to emulate him. That could be a good thing. The problem is when you're pushing, degrading and dehumanizing rhetoric, when you're treating people without compassion. I really want to push that, right? Like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna speak too much to whatever allegations he has because I'm just not abreast of the situation entirely. But once you start getting into that and you're influencing young people to emulate you in that, then you're a problem to me.
So their villain origin story is a lot of it comes. They say
Hmm.
that it comes from absentee fathers, rough childhood, things like that. So they had to be hard growing
Hmm.
up, which I think so. They didn't
Hmm.
have adults or whatever. So I understand that per se, but we also have eyes and we also
Hmm.
understand things as well. It's just that it's going off of what I've got from it per se. I don't want to make use that as an excuse for them to be allowed to do what they do. But again, someone somewhere has seen this guy or these guys and is like, hey, you know what? We can monetize that. We can
Yeah.
flip that pain and anger into something and make money off it. So yeah, the person, the influencer is gonna make a certain dollar amount, but all the brands associated are gonna make more money.
Right. Yeah.
And so they're obviously gonna keep pushing that nonsense. Hey, you need to keep this up, you need to keep that up. And so it's a lot of these guys are really, like I was saying, are empty inside. They're
Hmm.
lonely. They don't, they need guidance. They needed guidance. And they're targeting the same guys, the same type of people that are
Hmm.
out there right now, getting their feelings hurt by women or hurt by their family members and whatnot. I'm gonna get buff, I'm gonna get big, I'm gonna go do my thing out here, and I'm gonna make you say, I wish I would have got with that guy, or I wish I'd have got with that person.
Hmm.
And then that person's gonna be like, you know what? Yeah,
Then
come
we,
on. And
yeah,
I'm gonna
right.
dog you out. And I'm gonna dog you. I'm gonna treat you bad. It's that vindication or whatever, and it's vindicating maxing, bro.
Uh-huh.
Bro. So, but
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's where we're at there. God, watch it, the Manosphere. See, you got me fired up now. I hadn't,
I know it's good. It's
but
good.
it's a documentary. The self improvement, I'm for it. I'm
Hmm.
absolutely for it. You got to be confident. What's the difference between confidence and arrogance? You
Hmm.
know, arrogant is when like you think the confidence is you
Hmm.
don't have to say nothing at all. Your actions speak for you. You know what I mean? Um, but that's good. A lot of men need that confidence to be able to just hold their own. You know.
Hmm.
The second part is they need to be financially situated. A lot of the creators, a lot of the content creators and influencers, Andrew. Again, I'm not throwing him under the bus. I'm just saying what he's, some of his messaging is.
Yeah.
A lot of women are the problem. They live on this platform. They're like, oh, well, that's the woman's fault that man is out there cheating. It's the woman's fault that he's not happy at home. All types of stuff without looking within. But again, it's a facade that has to be kept up. Um, so there's a lot of things that these creators and influencers are driving into people that people are unable to filter out.
Hmm.
And it just recreates other little monsters running around here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you know what? Well, my daughter's dating now. I know, what's out there. These type of influencers are out there. And
Hmm.
I,
All right.
they're gonna be out there hurting me. So, I don't know. This is just something we were touching on today.
Yeah.
Um,
The whole manosphere situation, I think, it kind of came about at an intersection between economics. I think economics are a big part of it, and I've discussed this a couple of times with some friends of mine. Men historically are expected to be providers, as we all know, and we've talked about it before. We're expected to be providers. There's a lot of expectation associated with being a man. However, just due to the economy, inflation, whatever you want to call it, many of us are not able to operate within that capacity. That I feel like creates a situation in which uh, men feel like they're failing as men in general, and that can kind of play into the prevalence of these gurus that are guiding these men into whatever it is they feel like they should be. Um, but there's also, I think there's some good parts. Like you said, the self improvement part is a good thing. I guess kind of adjacent to the manosphere thing is the looks maxers, which I've mentioned
Right.
before.
Yeah.
I personally, as long as you're treating people with compassion and kindness, there's nothing wrong with, hey, I want to, focus on my skincare. I want to go to the gym or whatever it may be. That's fine, right? That's a good thing. But I feel like because of a lot of patriarchal standards and a lot of patriarchal stereotypes with masculinity and the economy, we've created these kind of super cartoonishly evil influencer guys, right? Like
Yeah.
you can, there's nothing wrong with caring about yourself. That has nothing to do with how you're treating other people. It's nothing to do with
It's
this.
a social construct. It's a social
Yeah,
construct.
it gets weird, and these guys are capitalizing that. They know that just doing fitness or just doing skincare or whatever, and just doing finance or business is not gonna get them the money that they want. They know they're saying these outrageous things and treating people poorly on whatever their podcasts or their platforms. That's what's gonna bring the money in. So
The
it's really
drama.
it's
That's
really
right.
unfortunate because it's good things to come of it. Confidence, building confidence in a half of the demographic of the planet is not wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's not a
The
bad thing.
virality, is that a word? Virality, I guess.
It's gonna be a word today.
Yeah, that the virality of
Yeah.
it all. You don't get the likes, the clicks, the follows, the views by being the
Mhm.
nice guy and doing the right thing. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a few kitten videos out there that are popping, but not really. It's the dude that's outrageous. It's the dude that says the most outlandish things,
Yeah.
and it gets shared and then posted and replied and all that. Next thing you know, again, you got they're talking crazy out the side of their neck, you
Hmm.
know, and people are picking up on this and like, yeah, even if they take like one or two things from a 5 point thing, they've got some of the bad stuff, and now they're gonna go put it back out there. So
Oh man,
I
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The self help, yes. You want to get yourself mentally strong. You want to get your body squared away. You want to get your finances
Mhm.
squared away. But at what cost?
Yeah.
At what
Yeah.
cost?
I mean, it is kind of spooky. You can even see some influencers like kind of fall from grace. Like you can tell influencers that began with just a platform of self improvement, they'll kind of start to see how their careers can advance if they do these more outlandish things. Like a good example, and I know this is touchy for a lot of people. Good example is Kevin Samuels. All right,
Right. Oh,
Kevin
right.
Samuels.
Yo, Noop.
Hey. Kevin Samuels, you know what I'm saying? He had a lot of truth to what he was saying. He started getting in a little bit to that Andrew Tate area.
Oh,
A little
absolutely.
bit,
I
a
agree.
little
I
bit.
agree.
You know what I
I agree.
mean? You don't really need to discourage anybody to improve somebody else. That's doesn't really matter. So I don't
Now
know.
I can kind of speak on him a little bit. In that I it was entertainment for me. It was entertainment, right? It was
Mhm.
entertainment in that he would have he would have women on the show, to call in or whatever, and then they would give their spiel about how they believe that you know, they are a
Whatever.
10. In
Yeah.
their own mind, they're a 10. Man, I'm a 10. He's like, well, how much do you weigh? Oh, I'm 170 pounds. Oh, how tall are you? Oh, I'm 5'2" or something. He's like, no, you're not that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
Mhm.
how many kids you got? Oh, I got 2 kids. You got the same baby daddy? No, I got two different baby daddies. Ma'am, how do you think that you are, top
Right.
tier? How do you think that, what I'm saying? And he would put a lot of people in that place.
Mhm.
Again, it's not about downplaying people. It's just about, I feel like sometimes people got to be brought down a peg,
Mhm.
come off that high, because there's no way you're gonna talk to me or you're gonna talk to anybody about how you deserve this, that, and the third, and you haven't made any deposits into the bank.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? You
right.
can't. My brother AJ says this all the time. You cannot make any withdrawals if you don't make no deposits, which is
Yeah. Right.
entirely true. So you got people out here, men and women are like, they don't stink, thinking it's
Mhm.
they good, and they need to be brought back down. And that's
Yeah.
why I enjoyed Kevin Samuels, to a degree, because he would knock some of the people off their high horse. Hey,
Mhm.
calm down. Be a little more humble. Be a
Yeah,
little more
which
humble.
is valid. That's self improvement in and of itself.
Yeah.
You
Be a little
know.
more humble and you'll attract more people. You'll get what you're looking for, per se, if you're more humble. But if you walk around
Mhm.
here because you're just too, you think you're too that, you're too this, um, that's not self help. That's self sabotage.
Yeah, I think a lot of these platforms are cathartic to a lot of people. Like they
Yeah.
enjoy it because you know what I mean. Um, especially to the younger men, right? You're 17, 18, you're in high school, whatever it is you're doing. That's a tough time just as a human, and you know you're facing just normal teenage rejection, right? And then you look at these guys, and these guys are villainizing the people that rejected you, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's fun to watch, right? I think to a more mature audience, like what you were saying, that you know you're showing people that they need to be more humble, which is what a mature person would say. The problem is, I think, with a lot of these guys is they are aiming at the younger audience. They want that broader. They're
Yeah.
trying to steer people in the wrong direction, and they know that they can cast the net wide. But yeah, I don't know the Manosphere thing. I promise. Watch the documentary. Louis Theroux, he's always good with the thing that he does.
So I'll say this: I think the Manosphere identified a real problem.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they necessarily have the right solution though. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
I like that. Yeah, that's for sure. That's for
And
sure.
so, in all honesty, it's a business. It's a business. Like the
Mhm.
algorithms, all that, it's a business. Every successful business solves a real problem, even though it may create more problems.
Yeah,
At the end of the
yeah.
day. So, does an individual stronger or does it make them more dependent? You know what I'm saying? Is
Mhm.
the self help books making you a stronger person or is it making you depend on needing more of that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
again, um, Thoreau he sat back and interviewed. He didn't have
Mhm.
an opinion on the matter. He just
Yeah.
again these are synopses, these are notes that I took. But
Mhm.
he sat back and just interviewed. He didn't really interject per se. He was just
Right.
asking how these dudes move around and whatnot. And so in doing
Mhm.
so, it allowed them to contradict themselves
Right.
and
Yeah.
allowed them
As
to,
they always
kind of
do.
tell on themselves and say what was
Mhm.
real and whatever, from what they initially started saying till thereafter, or you could see the
Mhm.
cracks in the lines. So you got people that kind of mean well when they start off, but then
Yeah.
you start making some money. It's like,
Yeah. You
man, that
start. Yeah.
changes everything, dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
If the self help books were free and he was just handing them out, you might could say
Yeah.
that these guys were
Truth.
genuine. You know, but the fact that you're making money, you're on TV, the
Mhm.
nation, the globe is watching you, the planet is watching you. Yeah. I in my notes, it's like, would you want your son to hear or see Andrew Tate? I'm gonna say yes, and
Mhm.
not yes so that he could be like him or take anything from him, but so that he could see the difference between what talking about over here versus what a real man, maybe his father or other mentors look like.
I agree. I agree. Yeah.
That
They out there.
TV is TV, but real life
Mhm.
is real life.
Yeah.
If you can take maybe something from the TV and apply it to real life, that will help you and make your circle bigger and better, for
Mhm.
sure. More power to you. But if you come in here talking like Andrew Tate, talking about these women, I hear how other guys talk about women, and I know it's not the truth. It's just their experiences based on how they've reacted to situations, and so now they're like mad about it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's it.
The people of my time and generation basically. Um, Me personally, I don't really follow Andrew Tate or like any of those guys that's in that category, just because of the fact of that. I feel like half of what they're saying is right, like a self help like movies like Girls Trip. I think
Mhm.
it's what is her name? She voices one of the characters on Boondocks. Anyway, she
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
no,
Oh,
it was
girl
the
trip.
other one. She was in
Yeah.
Think Like a
Long.
Man.
Yeah.
Regina King,
Long.
Regina Hall,
Yep,
Regina Hall. Yeah.
yep. So she
Yeah.
had, like she was doing a something with her husband. The whole world was like, "Oh, we love him so much." This, that, and the third. Whole time, he cheating on her with the cook on the cook show and all
Yeah.
that. So it's like, what image do you want to sell, and who are you selling it to, and what is it doing for you and them?
Yeah, that's facts. That's definitely good. That's definitely the underpinning point because they're definitely putting on a whole facade. You
For
know,
sure. For sure.
Yeah,
they really are.
Nobody's seeing that. They see like it's dopamine. You know what I mean? You're getting a
Right.
yeah,
dopamine hit because you're like, yo, that feels good. Oh yeah, I like that. He said that. I like that. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm
yeah.
about to flip this when I go outside. The next female I see, I'm about to say something like this to her. What bam. And if it works, oh yeah, it worked. And if it don't work, it's like, oh, now I'm about to get meaner. Oh, okay. I'm out,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
let
For
me go
real.
harder. You know what I'm saying? So there's an accountability that needs to be there. I'm just really hoping that none of these dudes that can't really understand reality, bump into my daughter because we're gonna have problems. So, Jordan, you got to get on this documentary. Hey, you ain't doing
What's the
nothing
name of it?
today. It's right on
What's the name of
Netflix,
it?
man.
It's
I gotta
called
share.
Manosphere by Louis Theroux Manosphere.
You get up out of here. You got work tonight?
I gotta work on some stuff. I gotta work, but I gotta hop on this King's College stuff, this
I got
London
you.
stuff, man.
Why are you steady name dropping?
Ah,
Jesus. Okay,
man.
all right, Greg, I'll get with you. Jordan, hey, hit me up, man. Hey, if you gonna watch, you need the password to the Netflix?
No, I got a subscription.
Okay, all right.
Easy.
I got
All right, man. All right, I'll talk to y'all.
All right.
Good.
Like and subscribe, comment so we can jump on the comments. And I want to answer questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, these topics are cool. So I say if we can get some legitimate questions in here from the audience, that would be dope. Any questions about anything? You could ask me why my hairline is receding. You could ask me about anything. You could ask me why my beard don't connect, whatever. Any questions they got, I'm down for. And we just take the comment section and we go crazy.